Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Whole, Healed, and Healthy. I'm glad that you're here this week. I appreciate you taking the time to come and listen to me ramble and talk about things that I like to talk about, things that are on my heart. So, yeah, thank you. I hope that you did something good for yourself on this week. I hope you took care of yourself, took some time just to pause, to reflect, and really just to take care of you, to become a better version of yourself, because that's what this is all about. We're becoming whole, we're becoming healed, and we're becoming healthy. So I hope that you did that. On this week, I think it was Saturday, we had a friend of ours stop by from Detroit, right? Listen, y'all see I'm repping. Y'all see I got on my Jackson High football shirt. Shout out to my cousin Tone, who was a coach. But listen, I understand why people feel the way they feel about Detroit, because I love my city. I love Jackson, right? I love it. And I am actively every single week trying to convince Randy, hey, we should move back home. I mean, I'll be looking at houses. I'll be like, we can live here. We can do this. We can do that. And yeah, it ain't happening. But shout out to Jackson, man. I love my city. I love the place that I call home, man. We all we got. And I appreciate the city, because the city really, has shaped and helped me to become the person that I am today. So I love Jackson, man. Shout out to y'all. Also, on Monday, me and Randy celebrated 12 years of marriage. Shout out to that. Hand clap, applause. Shout out to that, man. It has been an amazing, amazing journey for these past 12 years. We've had ups, we've had downs, we've had highs, we've had lows, but through it all, we've always had each other. And I will never trade that in the world. In every lifetime, I would always choose her. I'm always going to choose her. Man, you make those vows for richer or for poor. And she talked about it. She made a post and sickness and in health. And you guys know, the health challenges that she's been facing. I say we because we are one that we've been facing this past year. And, I'm just so thankful and so grateful to have a partner who in her most difficult season still looks at me and says, you can make it, says you can do it, still pours into me while I'm sitting here, you know, taking care of her and loving on her. She is doing the exact same thing for me while she is going through, to me, what is the most difficult season. She may say otherwise, but for me, it just seems so difficult. But she is so strong. She's so beautiful. She's so amazing. And she's handling it with such grace, man. And I am just thankful. I'm in awe every time I look at her, just to see how she gets up and the strength that she has, and just how she continues to just persevere, man. Not just survive, like she's thriving, and she is an encouragement to me every single day. I'm so thankful and grateful that Avery has a mom that she can look at and say that I can make it through anything, that I can become anything, that there is nothing too hard, that I can make it. And man, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna get emotional, but I'm just so thankful and so grateful, just to have someone who I can love, who loves me, who's an amazing mother, an amazing wife, an amazing partner, an amazing friend, who's my everything. So, like I said, in every lifetime, I'm always going to choose you. Always. So, I love you, Randy. Happy anniversary to 2,000 more, because we gonna live and we gonna live. But y'all, man, thank you. So, welcome to Whole and Healthy. Let's get started. So, we've all been the villain in someone else's story. What a segue to go from love and anniversary and best friends to villain. What a segue. I didn't even segue, but anyway, we've all been the villain in someone else's story. Not always on purpose, though, and not always in ways that we probably really understand at the time. I think at some point, if you love long enough, if you live long enough, if you love enough people, right, you will hurt somebody. Like, it's inevitable. You will hurt somebody. Most of us don't struggle with that in theory. I think we know that. But I think the struggle comes when it's time for us to admit, hey, it was me. I was the problem. So today, we're not talking about what people did to us. We're talking about what we did to them. We're going to take that mirror and we're going to look right in it and we're going to point the finger back at us. Like Michael Jackson said, I'm talking about the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. I can't sing, and y'all know that. But welcome to episode number 4. I think we're going to call this the villain episode. Y'all know Cardi B got her album, Am I the Drama? And today we're asking that question. Are we the drama? Am I the drama? Am I the problem? So healing does not automatically make you innocent. In all this healing that we're doing, man, and all this healing that we are doing, we can still be the reason someone else needs to heal. That's something that I had to understand, right? You can be growing, right? You can be doing all this growth, right? And still have patterns that left damage behind you. I think that's uncomfortable because most of us learn how to identify as the person who was hurt. What do we always say? 2 things can be true. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Several things can be true. You can be someone who experienced harm and the same person who caused it. Yep. You can be that person. If we're honest, I think a lot of us want to heal without the accountability. Not all of us, but some people do. We want grace. We want grace, but we don't want to extend that same grace to others. Sometimes we don't even realize when we've caused the harm. All right? So we going to create that tension and we are going to sit in that tension and we are going to work through that tension. So there are moments I've had to sit with myself and realize I was wrong. I was the problem. I have been the drama. That has been very important for me, though. That has been very important on this journey to recognize where I was wrong. And it's probably one of the most humbling things that I've done and that I am doing to realize that I've been a villain, man. I have not been a nice person. There have been times when I have been a villain. Recognizing when I've caused harm to another person intentionally or unintentionally. So listen, story time with your boy. I grew up in the era where staining was something that we did, is what we did. It's all that we did. We used to cap on each other all the time. So when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? When I was younger, my cousins used to tease me a lot. I mean, all the time. Like, this is no lie, no exaggeration. Like, it was to the point where, like, I would cry and everybody knew that I was going to cry. So that then became the goal. Make Mel cry. Make Mel cry. That was it. Make Mel cry. It was like they was like sharks in the water. Like, they could smell the blood. They see that one tear or that you get that frog in your throat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And your voice get to changing and your lips start quivering. Like, the moment they saw that, game on. Non-stop. But as I got older, I began to learn how to hold my own. And then I became the person who knew how to make people cry. So I remember this one time, right? We were out somewhere playing video games. I don't want to incriminate a lot of people. I'm going to incriminate myself. But we were out having a real good time, playing some video games, eating pizza, enjoying the company of one another. And so we get to going. We get to standing on each other. We get to going. We going, wow, back and forth, going. And I mean, like, going. And there was this one particular person that I knew how to get a reaction out of that person. And so, like, I start going. I mean, like, going hard to the point where I knew that I had crossed the line, and I crossed it bad, man. Like, I was not good. That was not nice. I crossed the line and I knew that I hurt that person. So eventually I apologized, right? Cause I knew that I had went too far. I apologized. But the damage was already done. Like, to me, you know, they probably didn't care about my apology because I had already hurt them. Like, the damage was already done. And to this day, I'm pretty sure that person looks at me totally different. I haven't talked to that person in years, but I know that our relationship was torn and it was never the same. So there was a difference in dishing it back to my cousins, and becoming the person who dished it for no reason. There's a difference in those two. Those two are not the same thing. You know, what I learned as a defense to hold my own eventually became a tool that I used to hurt others when they didn't deserve it. And I'm not proud of that, man, because I know that people did not deserve. I could be mean when it came to staining. I knew how that made me feel. And to do it to others now looking back was like, bro, what was you thinking about? So we talk a lot about healing from what happened to us, but I don't think we talk enough about healing from what happened through us. Here's what I had to recognize. What started out as survival, right, eventually became a weapon of mass destruction, if I must say, because I was not nice. I wasn't. I can admit that I was not nice. Nobody taught me how to hurt people. Life taught me to protect myself. And somewhere in between, I started doing both. I think that's something that a lot of people can resonate with. And I think that's something that a lot of us may still carry to this day, right? We learned something to survive a season, and then we carried it in the spaces where it did not belong. And then people got hurt by something that we knew was sharp. And in the moment, we just did not care. We did not. Sometimes the version of you that was trying to hold your own left damage in rooms you forgot you were even in. That's real right there. And I say that, and I say that's real because you ever seen on Facebook or social media where somebody gets up and like, oh, these people were so mean to me, and in high school, da 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 da, and then you think back like, dog, like I didn't even know, I didn't even realize it. So yeah, like I think that happens a lot more often than we think. And we just don't want to admit that. Naming it does not excuse it, right? That's not an excuse, but it is how we stop repeating it. So we got to put a name to that, and we have to recognize that so we can no longer repeat that. So what do we do with this? How do we resolve the fact that we have been the villain to someone? How do we resolve that? Well, you don't tear yourself down, number one. We simply just start to take ownership. We just take ownership. We let it refine how we move now, how we speak now, and how we show up now. The goal is now to become someone who moves differently. We become more aware, we become more honest with ourselves, and ultimately we move with a lot more intention. We become a lot more intentional about the choices that we make. We've all been the villain in somebody else's story, man. And I keep repeating that because that's like the theme. Like we got to know. But that does not disqualify you. But ignoring it will. We got to stop ignoring those things. Becoming whole means becoming honest. Sitting in that uncomfortable space and saying, yup, I was bad to somebody. I have to do that. I had to sit in that space and say that. And I sit in that space because I can remember what it felt like to come home after school and to cry to my mom and to cry to my dad about how I was teased and about how people treated me. And so then to do that to other people, it does not feel good. And it is something that I am sorry to this day to. Like, man, like I was really bad to some people and they deserve better. But what I also know is that you are allowed to grow, and you should grow. You are allowed to change, and growth is where honesty begins. This is all a part of healing, y'all. Like we have to sit with those things that we don't like about ourselves and say, you know what? That was me, and I am determined to do better. There's a difference between conviction and condemnation, right? Condemnation says your worst moment is your whole identity. It wants to define you at your worst. But conviction shows you what needs to change without removing your identity. One pushes you into hiding. The other one is going to call you forward. I think a lot of people avoid accountability because they think it's going to turn into condemnation. So instead of facing it, they bury it. That is not healing. That is hiding. And we don't hide. Come on, man. We face it. You know, one thing that I'm understanding in a much better way is that God does not require perfection to work with us. You know what I mean? We don't have to be perfect to start to do the work. That's not how it works. You start where you're at. God will meet you where you are at. That's one thing that I love about God, is that God is going to meet us where we're at. If you've been doing the work, but you've only been looking in one direction, come on down to the altar. Come on. If you've been asking for healing but avoiding accountability, come on down to the altar. Come on. If you've been carrying guilt and you don't know what to do with that, bring it on down to the altar. Come on down here. We're not shaming anybody. We're not shaming ourselves. But we're really just looking in the mirror and asking ourselves, where do I need to take ownership without tearing myself down? It's easy to look at the things and talk about the things that we've been through and the things that others have done to us. But healing also means that we have to look at ourselves and say, who have I hurt? Who have I been a villain to? So until next time, be whole, be healed, be healthy. Peace.